Hi there and welcome back to my channel. We are going to start by giving this kitchen a clean before decorating for Christmas and getting into the Christmas spirit. If you are new here, my name is Jenny and you've stumbled on my 4th YouTube video. I'm coining this channel Homemaking and Heart Chats because the heart behind it is to share in all things that make a house a home. From holiday decorating to seasonal living to family life and refreshing spaces, all while having heart-to-heart chats as if we're friends sitting across from each other at the kitchen table. I'm so excited for this video because it has completely gotten me in the mood for Christmas. And if Christmas wasn't already the most joyful time of the year, having a 5 and 3-year-old and a 5-month-old has made that magical element almost otherworldly. We had our first snow of the year yesterday in Michigan, and my 3-year-old woke up screaming how it's snowing, Santa's coming. This time of year really does remind me how Jesus himself came as a baby who probably had childlike joy just like my kids. And now I get to teach them about him, the reason behind Christmas, and the one who reminds me of the immense blessing that he gave me in giving me life and blessings like kids to feed or kitchens to clean. Speaking of kitchens, before decorating, let's kick things off by getting the house to smell cozy and warm in the holiday spirit with a simple festive simmer pot recipe. This is the kind of recipe that is your answer to when you wonder how other people's homes that you step into, how do they smell so amazing? And while I am a candle person through and through, there is something that is so gratifying about a holiday simmer pot that makes things feel even more cozy and homemade. For this simmer pot, you'll need 1 orange, a couple sprigs of rosemary, or if you have a Christmas tree, you can snip pieces of that off, 2 to 3 cinnamon sticks, a spoonful of whole cloves, a handful of cranberries, mostly for the festive vibes, and you just need to slice up the oranges and grab a pot and toss everything in. Fill it with water just until the ingredients are covered, then set it on the stove and turn the heat to low. Let it do its thing, and after about 15 minutes, your house is going to smell like you live inside a holiday card. Check on it every couple of hours. Water will evaporate, so just top it off as needed, and then you can keep it for a couple days. Just refresh the water and give it a little stir every now and then. Now we are going to take a little bit of inventory of all of the Christmas decorations that I have that are going to be a bit more organized in years future, but for now we're just looking at books and wreaths and all sorts of things before we give the living room a good clean, and then we can start putting things in their place. Something I learned from doing this right here is that it's not ideal to clean and decorate on the same day. In a perfect world, I would be starting decorating from a very clean home and a blank slate and organized bins, but we do not live in that perfect world, so here we are, and I'm super excited because there's going to be a lot more Christmas decorating content to come in the weeks ahead. That will be from a new year, because actually, to be honest, while this is brand new footage to YouTube, this actually was not filmed this year. And that's how long little dreams in our hearts can take to come to fruition. So I thought I would talk about that topic a bit because I imagine, like me, you have God-given dreams and hopes in your heart too that haven't yet come to pass, and the waiting season, after knowing that you want to do something, but before you actually do it, is very, very hard. Using this creative endeavor as an example, a YouTube channel like this is really right up my creative alley, but first and foremost, I am doing this because I feel genuinely called to. As in, quite literally, I feel as though God asked me to do this in 2021. I was on my way home from my COVID vaccine appointment, of all things, back when those were mandated, when he spoke to me right through a podcast that I was listening to that was on the topic of YouTube and told me, I want you to do that. It completely interrupted my thoughts, and hearing from God is a very curious thing because people will say, what does that even mean? And while some might mean that they hear from God audibly, that has never happened to me. I can only hope that it will. But God has, quote unquote, directed my steps many, many times by telling me to do something. And telling me to do YouTube, of all things, was perhaps the most stark experience I have ever had of him talking to me. And I knew it was him because of both the immediate peace and clarity that I had around it, but also in large part because I had no prior inclination to do this whatsoever. I actually do not even watch YouTube videos like this, although I have of course started to now a bit. But God moves in very curious ways and leads us to things that we have to rely on him to accomplish. And I'm even feeling that way with this channel right now, and I have along the way, because it feels tricky to fit this into my schedule. But like they say, if he calls you to it, he will call you through it. And like I alluded to, I have learned a lesson in this endeavor that he may call you to something well in advance of that something actually happening. Meaning he calls you to the thing, but he calls you into a waiting season before the thing. Even in the waiting season before the thing happens, what I've learned is you need to live like you know that it's going to. Even though I knew the Lord wanted me to create these YouTube videos, for example, it wasn't time for me to start actually publishing them for another nearly 5 years. But in those 5 years, I still operated within that call in preparation. For me, that looked first and foremost like living life and dealing with the hurdles that it threw at me and investing in my family and the joys and learnings of pregnancies and babies and toddlers, and then quitting my corporate career for a more flexible one and taking time to read lots of books and get emotionally healthier by meeting with a therapist weekly, and most importantly, by growing in my walk with God by reading the Bible for the first time and beginning to spend my every morning with God intentionally. As it related to the videos themselves, it involved direct preparation too. Actually filming footage like this, which is from a prior Christmas, learning to edit videos by doing things like making my parents' 60th birthday videos, and by taking courses that I found online, and even by slowly collecting equipment like a camera one year or a tripod the next. I guess my point is twofold. First, it's helpful to acknowledge there's often a waiting season and to have patience once you know that you want to do something or feel called to do something, because often you're not going to get to do that thing right away. And my second point is, don't wish away the time in between, the waiting season, by either letting it go by aimlessly without intentionally preparing, or conversely, by trying to prematurely force yourself into that next phase before it's time. I imagine different personalities are bent towards one or the other. My natural personality is quite impatient. So with this video example, whereas I can look back and see I was intentionally preparing, which is good, I was also very impatient to get to start doing the thing, and I spent way too much time and headspace trying to force the issue, which is not good. I tend to expend a lot of mental energy being frustrated or disheartened or disappointed in myself when I'm not immediately doing the thing that I want to do or that I feel like I've been called to do. Like I'm procrastinating, and if only I had better time management, I'd be able to fit everything in. And then on top of that frustration and being hard on myself, I'm trying to force the issue even when it's clear that it's not time yet. And that's a sign that if you're like me, you're trying to short circuit a necessary waiting season that really you should embrace. So going forward, that's my hope. My goal is to try to lean into the waiting seasons that I find myself in. I'll share how I plan to do this here in just a little bit, but first, here are some quick and easy snack ideas for you for this holiday season. Cheese stick snowmen are adorable, and they work well in lunch boxes too. And then I'm laughing because I will admit this next snack, these apple nachos, do not look great, but hey, a kid will be plenty pleased if they get to eat apples with caramel and festive sprinkles. And then next are little cheese Christmas trees, which would be perfect for a charcuterie board at a girls' night or a fun way to just force some calcium and protein into your kids. And finally, next I'm going to make some adorable little reindeer cupcakes, which I actually do think turned out quite cute if I say so myself. Again, they're a crowd pleaser that's super easy but still totally festive. I hope that these ideas give you some great things to make. So back to talking about leaning into waiting seasons. Honestly, the term waiting season itself is perhaps a little bit problematic because usually when we wait, we're just doing nothing, like waiting in line at the toll booth or for a ride at Disney or the grocery store or something. Whereas actual waiting seasons are not wasted time, but purposeful time of preparation and growth. What I've talked about so far is that we should acknowledge when we're in a waiting season, have patience with it, and both intentionally prepare during it and relinquish our desire to force that season away. So here's my plan and my desire for the next time that I personally feel impatient, waiting for something to happen. First, I want to acknowledge that something isn't happening yet, and it might not be for quite some time. And then I hope to lean into it with acceptance and patience, feeling encouraged that I don't just have to sit there and actually shouldn't just sit there, but instead I can intentionally prepare during that waiting season so that as soon as the season changes, I'm ready. I'm not sure what that situation might look like specifically for you. Maybe you know you want to start a certain business or creative endeavor, but you're in a season at home with your kids. Maybe you're experiencing infertility or waiting to have kids or waiting to meet your future spouse. Maybe it's a job opportunity or you're waiting for healing or financial stability or even clarity in your calling or purpose. Maybe it's waiting for peace of mind just after a season of anxiety or grief, or for doors to open for you in a certain area, for forgiveness or reconciliation in a relationship, or for the confidence to do something that you've been wanting to do. I mean, maybe you're just waiting to take a pickleball. I really don't know. But in all of these things, the same encouragement applies. Acknowledge that you're in a waiting season and that it's not a bad thing. Lean into it and have patience. Don't wish it away or try to force the issue that you're hoping for. Instead, intentionally prepare. Seek God's guidance and ask Him to help you trust the bigger picture, that God is aligning things beyond what you can even see. And as cliche as it sounds, practice gratitude in the meantime too. Whatever season that we're in, it exists within the answered prayers of another past waiting season. I'm going to say that again. Every waiting season that we face right now exists within the answered prayers of another past waiting season. I knew my heart yearned for creativity amidst mom life and my day-to-day work and business, and I longed for something like what these videos have provided me, an avenue to express myself creatively through homemaking and design and decorating and through chats like this very one. But in the many years I lived in the waiting season before I just recently started publishing these videos, I was living within answered prayers of past different waiting seasons. That is a huge thing to remember to reorient our perspective and gratitude. For example, at one point I was waiting to get pregnant and be able to have kids. At another point, I was waiting for enough steadiness and a close relationship in my life to open up for things, to be able to even feel like I had the headspace to do something creative. Our waiting seasons are refining times, and each of them has a God-given purpose that is growing us and cultivating us in our character in preparation for what's ahead. I hope this has encouraged you in whatever waiting season you're in to know that it's not wasted time. And on a timely note, the wait for Christmas is the rare wait we usually wish would take even longer than it does, so that there's enough time to soak up the holiday magic. I'm wishing you and yours a great start to this season, and I hope to see you soon for this year's Christmas decorating and more chats that will come in the weeks to come. Thank you so much for being here.